What's up, guys? So Hefty is now in the garage because I need to pop this hood and pull off some valve covers and see if there's an issue inside the valve train, because it's been running kind of like a dog since last summer, and I think we might have a valve spring that collapsed. So let's get inside and see what's going on. What is going on in here? What's hiding behind door number 1? We'd be looking for a broken valve spring. Let's actually, I'm able to push this one down by hand. That could be the problem right there. Bounce a dead blow on the top of each valve spring and should almost see, I feel nothing bouncing back. Now this one's moving. You saw that? I was able to push that valve down by hand and it settled. And it held that location. Now if I were to try and push down any other valve, oh yeah, I can't even move them. Nope. These are, I forget the exact spring strength, but you've got a thicker, larger outer valve spring, and then there's a secondary inner spring. So these things are really hard. There's a whole tool, you remember, like at Roger's shop, to like compress these things down. So the fact that I was able to push this thing down, yeah, that's got to be our problem right there. I wonder if there's one on the other side too. You see how I could push that down? I'm talking to you, babe, not a fucking camera. You think I made this up? Watching this happen, right?
I'm bullshitting you. Yes,
okay.
I can see it.
Yeah, like I shouldn't be able to move that at all, because...
What would that mean then?
I'm trying to think through it.
What would that mean then, huh?
It would mean that the spring is somehow lost its strength. That maybe either around the side somewhere where I can't see it, the spring's broken, or maybe the inner spring broke. I don't know, but some ain't right there. So the next step here would be we're going to loosen these 5 retaining bolts on the top of our valve train here and pull off our rocker arm assembly. And then with these rocker arms and shaft out of the way, we'll be able to further investigate what on earth is going on over here. Now what's going to happen is once you remove this, these valve springs are going to stay where they are. They're going to decompress, obviously, and they all should rise to the same height. Right, they could pop up, but now if like the valve keeper got busted, the whole spring could go flying out. But I can see the keepers are still in there, so the valve itself should be fine. But again, I'll get a much clearer look. So I could...
You're going to do that right now?
Yeah, it's literally like I grab a 9/16 socket and go and do it.
Yeah, but I know you.
This is date night.
But we have other things to do. What torque spec do you have to put it back to?
Ugga strength? I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
I mean, best.
Right now we're just getting it off, so I ain't worried about retorquing. Okay.
That is so loud.
You're gonna be all right. Make sure I go evenly here. Distribute the lessening of grip across the shaft. can see how the springs are now relieving their tension.
This just turned into a can of worms.
My life is a can of worms. And I'll put these over here, like so. Just gonna observe the bottom of all these rockers. This is just my OCD. So now this guy is also moving rather easily. That's the one that we identified before.
What was that one you just touched?
Yeah. Okay, maybe I'm mistaking myself here. Are these all like that? Let's see. No, it's not like that for that one. Why is... See how this is taller than this? And this is taller than this. I don't know. Those are really loose. Why? You see, like these sitting at the same height. Can't spin the valve spring. Something ain't right. There's also some pitting going on here. These aren't dual spring, it's a single. Okay, so it is just the outer spring. I can, yeah, okay. Yeah, I've got two. So they're not broken, but call Roger and pick his brain. So my best guess is that with these valves, because these should all be a uniform height when you're looking at them across the board, kind of like these two, this exhaust and this intake valve, they should be the same height, but you can see how dramatically higher this one is right here. It's probably a good 1/4 inch higher than this one. This one's probably about an 1/8 inch higher than the one next to it, and this one's probably a good 1/4 inch higher than the other one. So what's probably happened is the valve seats have probably got eaten away on the underside of the head here, and it's actually letting the valve relieve itself up higher into the head, which is making it stick up further, probably giving it an uneven seal in the head, more significantly creating an issue when it's running where it's not really sealing off, it's losing compression. It's losing compression, which is obviously creating a loss of power, but it's either letting air sneak back into the cylinder and it's not sealing properly, or it's letting exhaust come out. So you're getting uneven compression, uneven combustion. That's why it was fouling out the plugs. So you at least have 3 valves here that are kind of duds right now because of their seats or some kind of issue going on in there. These heads are pretty much toasted and have got to get totally machined and redone. And I bet we're going to see the same issue over on the other side. Okay, driver's side. How are we looking over here? So I actually used 2 hands. I was able to get, I think 2, if not 3 of these valve springs to push down at least like 1/8 of an inch again on this side, even before pulling out the whole rocker shaft. So unfortunately, guys, Hefty's engine is a complete dud right now. It would need a good rebuild to be where it's at. And if you've been following long enough, you'd know that I've been wanting to pull this thing out and stroke it anyway, put a 440 crank in it and make this 383 a 426 stroker. I'm gonna rebuild this thing and actually make it perform the way I want it to, because there's kind of really no reason to band-aid it with something else right now. So this engine, to the best of my knowledge, this 383 was built in the early 90s by the gentleman I bought the car from. And this engine has definitely seen its share between him, from what he told me when I got the car, and from me, of absolute foot stomping on this car. I do not drive this car lightly. It's not what I made this car for. It's not what it's built for. It's a fun car that I beat the hell out of. And so it's lived its life a 1/4 mile at the time, essentially, on the streets. You know, I've only ever taken it to the track once, but when I dailied this car for a while, pretty much every stoplight was a go. Whether I was up against a Prius or a new Camaro or something, it was on. I was gonna have myself some fun, and it's definitely showing itself here with this car. It's seen better days, and these heads, like I said, there are at least probably a 30-year-old build on it. Those seats are probably completely shot in at least 4, maybe 5 cylinders, so would make sense. We're kind of running on like 5-ish cylinders out of 8, and yeah, it's kind of time. The main symptoms that I've seen with this car since this issue arose when I was driving it was all of a sudden my AEM air fuel mixture ratio gauge was showing me that it suddenly went very, very lean. So I'd be driving and all of a sudden this thing would be reading out like I'm at like 17, 18, 19 to 1, which is like super, super lean. And I couldn't understand how that all of a sudden happened. So that would make sense where it's reading really lean in the exhaust when it's rolling down the road, because it's probably getting way too much air through the cylinders because it's not actually sealing, and you're getting extra air going in through the mixture, which isn't being burnt through combustion. That is showing up in the readout of the O2 sensor coming out on the header collector over there. So it's just not sealing. We're not getting good compression. We're not performing. Like I said, the engine is effectively kind of a dud right now, and it's enough to be able to just move the car around the property and, you know, take it around the neighborhood. But this thing really couldn't be trusted much more beyond that right now. Hefty is unfortunately here grounded. She needs a rebuild. But like I said, not really totally unfortunate, because I wanted to make this car a million times better, and this is just the chance to do that. But with how busy I've been with the Charger, when I'll get to it, I don't exactly know. So still got to finish a lot of work here on the Roadrunner. So always keeping myself busy, always keeping it real, always keeping it maybe unrealistic. I don't really know. It's late. It's like 2 a.m. I'm rambling on. But if you're here hanging out with me, I appreciate it, because you're probably a gearhead just like me, and this is what we do. So So this is the car just before I took a big road trip, and it was still running really good, but you're going to see in these upcoming clips during that trip, it started to falter and the engine ultimately began to die. At this point, the car was still running really good, just enjoying all the sights, enjoying being out west. I've been on this road for the last 20 minutes. I haven't seen a car ahead of me. No one's come up behind me. It's just nothing. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But no one around. Kind of nice. Just about to pull into this gas station I saw from the highway. I was like, that looks like a good spot. And I am literally out of gas. I don't think you can see down there because it's blurry. Yep, out of gas. There's no more fuel in the tank.
just a little bit there in the line. And I started to notice it blipping right before I got off, so perfect timing. Brought a goat. Nice. At this point, you can see how terrible the air-fuel ratio is doing. Welcome to Tennessee! Of course, I got stuck behind a gigantic train, literally O'Reilly's on the other side of these train tracks. Hot. Oh my god. So the car started fouling the plugs and running terribly. Found an O'Reilly's and I had to swap them out. It was like 100 degrees and humid. Sucks. It's like standing in an oven, making the bread in the oven while you're preparing the dough. Well, that seems a little happier. We'll get down the road and make sure it's not popping anymore. We might have it. It was certainly running better after the swap of the plugs, but it was still not hitting on all 8. It was kind of a dud, but it was way better. All right, we're good. Gonna go nice and slow and easy on the way there. Getting there. So at this point, I was enjoying the sights, of course, but still just limping the car because I knew the engine was dying. As much as I wanted to not accept that fate, I knew it was happening. It's pretty warm in here. It's anywhere from 90. Yeah, it's close to 100 degrees inside this car. It's probably 6 o'clock too. Mopar, woo, up the Smoky Mountains, yeah! Oh man, Hefty is designed to go straight, but she is screeching it tonight. What are you doing? I don't know what's happening right now. So then I started messing with trying to evaluate what was going on. I tried pulling off a carburetor from Alex's truck, seeing if it was not coming from the fuel system. Ultimately, to find out it wasn't that at all. See that toe action? Okay.
done. You're done. You're cut off. That's it.
Woo! Yeah, I think that's probably the end of Hefty's engine.
Babe, you almost hit that tree.
The key word is almost. I'm almost.
I heard her pop. She's warm.
Oh, it's misfiring, alright. It's fun though. So yeah guys, after 8 years of thrashing on Hefty's 383, it finally has given up. But you know what? I've had a lot of fun and we will rebuild and be back better. But if not, you'll see me working on the Super B or the Roadrunner. And until then, you guys, I'll catch you on that next episode. Is that your friend, Elliot? What's he doing?